Hey everybody! Welcome to Attack of Opportunity. We are going to play D&D, but first we want to introduce everybody, I guess. We are a group of D&D players that like D&D and play D&D things.
Meow.
Yeah, and a cat. That's laser beams.
So happy.
Every week at 4 p.m. It used to be 3 p.m., but now it's 4 p.m. We play Dungeons & Dragons. We are playing I'm calling it a homebrew mashup campaign, because into our campaign I'm mashing a whole bunch of pre-made adventures from DM's Guild and official Wizards of the Coast adventures. Currently, we are in the middle of some Curse of Strahd stuff, and I hope everybody's excited to dive into that. Zahrt, do you have other announcements?
Yeah, just to be sure to keep an eye on us on Twitter. We are at Attack of Op, that's OP. We're on Facebook, Attack of Opportunity. You can search for us there. You can find all of our videos on demand on YouTube if you just search for Attack of Opportunity. And we are streaming live on Twitch, so make sure you go ahead and give us a follow there. If you are able to, give us a sub. That would be awesome as well.
Cool. Yeah, I don't think we have anything else. So is everybody ready to play some D&D?
Yeah, I think so.
Sweet. Let's play D&D.
Okay.
Oh, wait, one more thing. We almost forgot, right? We've been talking about shortening the show to 2-ish hours, and I think right before we started today, we officially decided that was probably a good idea. So this show will now probably span 2 hours to 2.5 hours, depending on how long it takes us to wrap up whatever the end. It's an imprecise thing. So expect that going forward. And with no further ado, last week, you found yourselves on your way to Nightstone when you encountered a traveling carnival group. They offered you a place to camp, and roared pet a lion. Like, that was pretty sweet.
Yeah, I met, what was his name? Jed, I think.
Jed?
Had a sweet lion.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of conversation. You all had a very nice hot dinner. Then after dinner, they offered to show you their performance that they had been working so hard on. During the performance, Sin, the leader of the group, engulfed everything in a reddish mist. And suddenly you found yourselves transported somewhere else, a dark land that has been full of nothing but horror. You fought a basilisk, and soon you found yourselves coming up on a small village at the edge of the woods. And as you entered, the fog began to clear, and you noticed people bustling about the village, going about their lives. It was approaching evening, but it was basically already dark. Nothing looked new or well-maintained. The buildings looked very dirty, dark, and dilapidated. As you entered, a older man looked up and said, "Welcome to Barovia, strangers." And that is where we begin today. Standing on the street, entering the village of Barovia.
Right. Well, if I remember correctly, we didn't remember we had never heard of this place when we asked that guy if he had heard of Nightstone, I think, or Zahrt asked him if he knew of some town. And he was like, "What? No, it's a dark
I think we asked him about Waterdeep.
Waterdeep, yeah, one of these places.
Yep. No, he had no idea what you were talking about.
Right.
And in fact, kind of looked angry that you even asked him.
Well, about that how.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess we're looking around the street. Do I see like an inn or a tavern of some sort within eyeshot?
Yeah, so looking up and down the street as you make your way, you suddenly realize that the very muddy, slippery, wet ground that you were walking on has given way to slick, wet cobblestone. And the rows of very small buildings just kind of glower at you with their dark windows. The amount of foot traffic does not seem to match the silence that is in this area. And you begin to notice that many of the shops are closed, and scattered across most of the buildings are these vicious-looking claw marks. You begin to hear some mournful sobbing pierce through the silence, and it echoes through the streets. And then up ahead on your left, you suddenly see a shop. It's full of bright, colorful lights shining through the windows. brilliant baubles hanging all over it. This place should definitely be attracting more attention than it does. Outside, you notice a figure standing. As you get closer, it's a tiefling. It's Sin.
What do I do? Is she within earshot?
I mean, you guys are walking up the street. She's maybe 2 blocks away from you, so not really. Depends on how loud you are.
I'd be like, hey, look who it is. Quietly to my friends and point.
I grab my axe and start advancing.
I say, now, Nain, hold, be still. We don't know this area. We might be in deeper than we think.
I'll reluctantly put it away.
As she sees you all kind of keep moving your way down, and she notices you notice her, you notice her noticing you. She immediately puts her hands up, and she says, "Hey, we should talk."
Yes,
but
I agree.
but not right here. And she points to the door to the colorful building next to her.
Let's go.
Wait. I want to. Is she like? Does it seem like? I'm trying to ask this without asking specifically. Can I tell if she's like has good intentions, or does it feel like she's leading us into a trap?
She's very relaxed.
That doesn't tell me much.
She's already led you into a trap once. It's hard to tell.
This could be more trap. This could be an ambush.
It's hard to tell.
Yeah, I mean, I follow her inside.
Yep. She begins walking inside, opens the door, holds the door open for you, says, "Are you coming?"
Yeah.
I have my hand on my sword and I walk in.
Okay.
Sigh heavily.
She leads you inside to this room.
Wait, real quick. As we walk in, I want to do one more divine sense.
Okay.
I think it's my last one. Let me check. Yeah, I have one left. So, celestial fiend, undead within 60 feet. That is not behind total cover.
No.
Nothing.
Nope.
Okay.
One day that is going to pay off so
Yeah,
well.
yeah. It's actually
It is.
you're in a place now where I actually have to think about it way harder. Anyway,
That's why I do it all the time.
So she leads you into the front room of this building, and it appears to be some sort of weird gypsy's den. The walls are adorned with all kinds of cloth, all manners of color and texture and pattern. Some of them seem to just glisten and blow in a breeze in the room that doesn't exist.
Are we in that well-decorated shop, or are we in a different building?
The well-decorated shop, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. The room smells of incense, and the air breathes heavy and moist. The doorway, there is a doorway on the other side of the room that is covered only in fabric that leads into another room. And Sin kind of stops you here, and she says, "Look, before you blame me for all of this, you should know we had no choice. We're bound to him. We're his slaves. We've chosen. You were chosen by him, but we think you're different. We think you can help us."
Who's we?
Yeah, who's he?
Start with who's we.
We are the Vitari, and he is the devil himself, Strahd.
Oh,
Good.
great.
Just
Never heard of him.
Satan. Just devil himself.
Just the devil. That's fine.
Okay.
She says, "Please, I wish you would listen to what Madame Eva has to say. She has foretold of you coming to us, and just please." And she gestures to the room behind the cloth.
I would look at her and say, "Yeah, you sicked a basilisk on us. I'm kind of mad at you."
I'm sorry, that was not my intent.
What was your intent?
It pretty much seemed like that was exactly your intent.
I'm sorry. He does as he pleases.
I see.
Have I heard of either the Vitari or Strahd? Do either of those names ring a bell?
No. Okay, well, Strahd rings a tiny, tiny, tiny bell. You would have glossed over it in history books long, long ago.
I am proficient in history. For
Yeah,
what it's worth.
you would have glossed over it very briefly, and the only thing you know about him is he was a conqueror. And we're talking, when I say long ago, hundreds and hundreds of years.
Probably not the same guy.
Well, yeah, okay. So I recognize the name from history books. So I would say to Sin, are you a servant of him or of what he represents? Do you know him?
We are his slaves. Please, Madam Eva has far more.
All right. Bring us to this lady then.
Okay. So she pulls back the cloth, and sitting inside of a round room, adorned in much more colorful cloth, there's a bench sitting around a table with a woman sitting at the table wearing brightly colored robes, sitting there just focused, staring straight ahead. You don't know if she's looking at you as you come down the hallway or if she's looking through you as you come down the hallway. But as you enter the room, she seems to snap to. And she kind of says, welcome, Outlanders. I believe I've been expecting you. There's
news.
there's so much to know and so little time for it. For he already knows you're here, and I'm sure he'll want to meet you soon.
He being
Strahd.
Strahd. Great.
So, as you enter the room, you can sit down on this bench around a table, and the table has a purple cloth draped over it. There's a crystal ball kind of off to the side, but that's not what's happening right now. Madam Eva pulls from under the table and in her robes a deck of tarot cards and sets them on the table. And she says, "Please, I have much to tell you, and the cards will guide our conversation."
Okay.
Okay.
I'll go on this ride with you. Sit down.
I hang
I
back.
I look at Bones and I'm like, this seems
far-fetched.
like something you might be into.
Yeah. She says sit down, and like Bones just sits down.
Yeah,
like,
no.
Okay.
I stay standing in the doorway.
This is some spooky shit. I suspect she's into it. Yeah.
This is some spooky shit.
All of a sudden, as Madam Eva begins to focus on the cards, the lighting changes to just red hue. All of the candles begin to dim down slightly, and everything becomes still and calm. The silence that was on the street becomes much, much more penetrating now as you're sitting in this room. And Madam Eva drops the first card, and she places it face down in front of her. She grabs another, places it next to the card, and does this 3 more times. She arranges the cards in a cross. 1, 2, 3, 4. And Madam Eva says, "And we shall now begin the reading. If I am correct, this will tell us how you should defeat the devil himself. Be excited."
Wow. Well,
how did we get into this mess?
yeah, we just met, so
She begins to flip over the first card, and she says she suddenly cracks a bigger smile, and her face lights up, kind of in that way when you open a present, but literally her eyes begin to glow slightly red at this point. And she flips over one of the cards, and she says, "It is foretold." And she sets it down. The card she flipped over is the One of Swords, the Avenger. She says, This card tells us of history, knowledge of the ancient. Will help you better understand your enemy." She looks at the card for a moment and she says, "Yes. The treasure lies in the dragon's house, in hands once clean, now corrupted." She
Well, that
reaches.
sounds
What card was that?
prophecy
I'm
shit.
sorry, what card was that?
It was the One of Swords, the Avenger. She flips over the next card. And she says, "Ah, yes. This card. This card will tell us of a powerful force for good and protection, a holy symbol of great hope. It is the Four of Glyphs, the shepherd." She says, "Find the mother. Find the mother, she who gave birth to the evil. She will help you defeat him." She flips
Will she?
over another card. She says, This card, this is a card of power and strength. It tells of a weapon of vengeance, a sword of sunlight. It's the Two of Glyphs, the missionary. I see
like
a garden dusted with snow, watched over by a scarecrow, with a sackcloth grin. Look not to the garden, but to the guardian himself. That's where you'll find it.
What?
She flips over the fourth card. She said, This card will shed light on the one who will help you greatly in the battle against the darkness. It is the executioner, the Jack of Spades. Seek out the brother who the devil's bride. Seek out the brother of the devil's bride. I'm sorry. They call him the lesser, but he has a powerful soul. He can help you defeat this enemy. She flips over the last card. And she says, Your enemy. He is a creature of darkness, whose powers are beyond mortality. This card will lead you to him. She looks at the card. It is the Tempter. I see a secret place, a vault of temptation hidden behind a woman of great beauty. The evil waits atop his tower of treasure. That's all I can find. She kind of comes back down out of this weird trance. The glow in her eyes dissipates ever so slightly. She says, Now, I'm sure you have many questions.
So many.
Please ask them.
Why us?
That is unclear. I can tell you you are here because he chose you to be here. That is why we brought you here. We are very sorry that it came under such circumstances. But it is important for all of the people here that you succeed. He is the one that keeps us here. None of us can leave while he lives.
What can you tell us about him? You've been very vague so far.
Well, he... Sorry, one more time. He comes from a royal bloodline. He probably died centuries ago. But he endures, feasting on the blood of the living. The locals, the Barovians, refer to him as the Devil Strahd. He lives in Castle Ravenloft, which, if you look up once you walk out the door here, can't unsee. It sits atop the cliff overlooking the city.
That's like his house?
Yes. I would not show up without an invitation.
Okay.
And who are the Vitari? How did you come under his power?
We
Are they? I guess?
are his servants because we know how to get along with him. That's all.
Where did this? How did this start? Have you been under his power for centuries? Ever since he came into being? How long has this been going on?
As long as I can remember. They say that the souls of those who die here in Barovia can't escape to the afterlife. That they are prisoners of Strahd's domain. And the Vistari believe that many of us are reincarnated souls that couldn't escape to the afterlife.
Well,
So we could consider, would it be safe to assume we consider the Vitari allies in this mission that you've just thrust on us?
mm.
Reluctant companions.
Reluctant
Our
companions.
goals
And how-
align.
And how will we know who you are?
We'll identify ourselves to you. We
Please
blend
stick,
in
would you
fairly
say?
well.
You said we shouldn't show up at Old Boy's house without an invitation. How exactly do we go about getting that?
If I'm not mistaken, very soon, he will reach out to you.
Great.
Classic Voldemort move.
Yeah.
So Nain is kind of taking this all in, and he's listening to this conversation, and he's looking at the cards on the table, and he leans over to Gror and says, I don't understand this game.
I have no idea what's going on right now. I say to him,
Is there another game that we can play?
So as
look at the
you're
lady.
leaning in, talking,
I look at her
talking
and I
about
say,
this,
hey, do you know how to play Dragon Chess? Because I'm good at that, and I have the set with me.
as you lean in, talking about this, she says, "I'm sorry. I guess it hasn't been made clear to you, but you are stuck here until Strahd has been defeated.
Terrific.
As long as he
Oh.
lives, no one escapes his domain.
Cool.
That is why our
Great.
goals currently align. We
I have a
need you
question.
to help us destroy him, and we need him destroyed in order to leave."
Right.
Sure. So you said that these cards were going to reveal how we were going to kill this person.
Yes.
Devil.
You
thing.
mentioned a sword of sunlight. Do we need to find a sword of sunlight? Is that like what we're
She-
going for here?
She kind of
I
looks
think we
at
have to
you
ask
for a
the
moment,
Scarecrow about it.
and she says, "All I know is that the card is a card of much power and strength.
Okay.
It is going to tell us of a weapon of vengeance. And that weapon is the Sword of Sunlight. When I look, all I can see is a garden covered in snow with a scarecrow.
Not a garden
The sword
you
is hidden within the
recognize?
guardian.
Okay.
And you don't recognize this location? You can't point us in any direction?
Sorry, I don't.
Well, I think we follow, from the first one. This is out of game. This isn't Rosetta. Sorry.
Very good.
The dragon's house, hands once clean, now corrupted. We have to find that. I think we just follow all these things in order.
These clues
Yeah.
will lead us to the Horcruxes or whatever.
I'm just hoping that the, gypsy charlatan can maybe point us in a direction without being vague and mysterious and infuriating. Says Ani. Says Ani.
You say you haven't met many gypsies in your time, have you, Ani?
That's what gypsy charlatans do.
Yeah, pretty well known for that kind of thing.
They're the best at it.
All right. Well, dragon's house. Let's set off to figure out what the hell that means. Let's ask Sin, see if she knows anything.
Yeah, maybe Sin has some more
Yeah,
tips.
Sin
She's
might.
probably been around here.
As you begin to get up, she says, "Is there anything else I can help you with, my children?"
Yeah, you got any like coin
Or healing potions?
or like sweet
Ooh.
dwarven battle armor?
She says,
I-
I'm sorry, I don't have any healing potions," but she reaches out and she touches each of you on your shoulders. Go ahead and roll 1d6 recover health points.
Oh,
I
Oh,
don't think
sweet.
I lost any health points.
I did.
Yeah, I don't think I'm down.
No.
We
Well,
don't
I'm
have
full
any
again.
healers in the group, so nice.
not bad. Not bad.
Oh wait, yes, I
I'm
am.
I'm one from full. That's pretty good.
I am now 2.
Oh no, I'm full.
And so as you all recover hit points, she says, "Now, my children, you must go. There is much you should see, and even so much more that you shouldn't."
Oh.
You
That's
just
what I want.
want-
That's definitely what I
thank
want to see
you.
then.
You're just being creepy.
This is so exciting. Let's go do this thing, guys.
I immediately walk away and say, "Thank you for your help."
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. Now that we just got to kill this ancient demon for you because y'all can't do it.
As you leave the fortune teller's room, everything begins to fade to black. Everything around you begins to fade to black.
Terrific.
And suddenly
Oh.
you find yourselves standing
Tight.
out on the street in front of the building in which you entered, but it is no longer colorful. It's no longer brightly lit. It is broken down, dilapidated, much like everything else. The time you've lost track of, but you can only imagine it's somewhere around midnight. As you're standing there,
Okay.
a ghostly procession begins walking down the road in front of you. You see
Is it like
you
the one
see
we
a
saw the other night?
very literal parade of spectral beings walking down the street.
Is it like the one we saw earlier?
Similar, yeah. Only there's many, hundreds of them passing by in front of you in a literal parade. Wavering images. Excuse me.
Ghost Parade?
Mm-hmm. Tough-looking women toting great swords, and wood-wise men carrying slender bows, dwarves with glittering axes. All archaically dressed mages, beards, strange pointed hats, and much more. They all seem to be pouring out from a graveyard near the church. Their numbers growing by the second. Sin appears next to you, and she says, "These aren't the spirits of people buried there, but of previous outlanders who sought to destroy Strahd.
Oh, cool.
Every night they attempt to
Oh,
complete their
great.
quest, and
Great.
each night they fall to Strahd once more. This is important, outlanders. The people of Barovia deserve to be free. Please listen to Madame Eva, for she knows far more than even she realized."
Huh.
And Sin fades away. It's gone.
Ah!
Bye, Sam.
What? We had so many questions for you, important NPC.
But it's infuriating.
As you are watching the specters march by, this crazy, crazy scene, a human man walks up to you with long brown hair. Hold on one second.
He's me.
Hold on one second. Let me pull it back up again.
A large beard. He's carrying a cat.
He's very cheerful.
No, he has blonde hair.
Okay.
It's dirty.
not you.
It's very dirty blonde hair, though. Everything here is dirty. It's dirt everywhere. And so he walks up, and he says, "Who are you? You are not from around here."
No,
No.
we aren't. I am Gror. This is my son, Nain.
I am Nane.
He eyes the dwarves very, very suspiciously, and he says,
I could play this game, and I am suspiciously back.
he says,
We're looking for the dragon's house.
"I am Ismark. I may be able to help you, but it's late. Let me buy you a drink at the tavern."
Okay,
I like this.
I like this guy.
Yeah, he seems good.
All right. So he takes you down the road a little ways to a tavern. It is the Blood of the Vine Tavern. They specialize in wines in particular.
Sure.
A single shaft of illumination thrusts up from the middle of.
Oh yeah.
What?
I like it. You say that one more time, a little bit slower though.
You're all 12.
Something about a shining shaft.
It gets worse. It gets
Thrusting
worse.
upward.
Yeah,
There are so
thrusting
many other
upward.
words you could have used.
A single shaft of illumination thrusts upward
Oh, God.
Yeah.
from the main square of the
Yeah.
town. Its brightness looking like a solid pillar in the heavy fog.
Sure.
It points you towards a gaping doorway,
Oh, God.
above which hangs a sign precariously askew.
Sorry, I'm 12.
It's
Yeah.
a
It was
great-
Colleen's fault that time, though. I wasn't even laughing about the door, and then she laughed, and then it was.
I knew it was going to get worse.
Yeah, a gaping gash.
Come on. All right. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
The sign says Blood on the Vine Tavern.
Oh, boy.
I
Oh,
can't.
boy.
I can't. Abort mission.
So that's our show for today, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to Attack of Opportunity. We'll see you next Sunday. Maybe.
Oh, dear.
Oh, we're horrible
Guys like
people.
that.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh,
Good
man.
times.
Chat, can I get a yay or nay if this has gone off the rails?
Oh man.
Oh,
Anyway,
boy.
so we're at the tavern.
Okay, so
Right.
walking
So
up
the
this
mysterious
tavern
dirty blonde guy is going to buy his beverages. I think,
from the
is
Blood
what's
on the
going
Vine.
Yes.
Blood of the Vine, not on the vine. Sorry.
Fine.
It is a building that looks like it was once a very finely appointed tavern, but it has grown very shoddy and falling apart over the years. There's a blazing fire, and there's a barkeep. There's some other people kind of clustered together on the other side of the room, but Ismark leads you directly across the room to a table, sits down and waves his hand to the barkeep, who brings over a bunch of drinks. And
Nice.
Ismark begins to hand him some coin, and he says, "No, not for the lesser."
Ah!
What?
What
Wait.
now?
And so Ismark says, What draws you here to town, friends?" As he takes a hearty sip off of his flagon.
Well, you see, what had happened was
Carney,
we weren't even
folks.
really trying to get here, but then there was a sweet carnival, and then now apparently we're screwed. So, yeah, that basically brings you up to speed.
He kind of glares at you for a moment. Well, this is a terrible place to have found yourself after attending a carnival.
Yes, I concur with that assessment.
Well, there may be something that you can help me with.
Oh, yeah.
We're helping so many people right now, man.
Yeah, we're the helpful bunch.
What we do.
All of Barovia, relies on us right now.
He says, "The devil has taken an eye for my sister. And I need to get her out of town, but there's no one I can trust. The Vistari are everywhere."
She's got both of her eyes.
Get it too.
He just wants to bang her, is what's going on.
He's taking an eye for her, not from her.
Okay, yeah. I wasn't sure if she has a patch now or yeah, gotcha.
Right.
Yes, he
No,
wants
usually
to
patch isn't very
bang
helpful anyway.
her, as it were. If bang means sink his fangs into her neck, kill her,
You
and
know,
turn
it
her into a
kinda-
vampire.
Yeah, of course that's what I meant. Yeah.
It kind of does
Obviously.
mean that.
Yeah.
So the brother of the devil's bride, that was the executioner or the jack of spades in our fortune telling hoop to scoop. Just
Mm.
making
Oh,
sure
yeah,
everyone's following that right now.
And
Oh,
he was
yeah,
also
it's-
called the lesser.
Yep, it's him.
Either way, he got free drinks. That's great.
Yeah, I mean,
Ismark,
yeah.
Thank you.
you seem to be a figure of great respect in this town to earn free drinks for a group of strangers. What is it that you do?
He said, well, at the moment, my job has become protecting my sister and helping my father. He was the... Fuck is this word? I forgot what it is. Sorry.
Vampire.
No, his father is not a vampire yet.
Okay.
Oh, yet.
Right.
The Barriger. That's the name. The town Barriger. He's the son of the town Barriger, and so his father has fallen ill. He's been filling in for his father, all of those things. So he mostly protecting his sister.
Okay.
Why do they call you the lesser?
Well, clearly I'll never be as good as my father, now will I?
Oh, so you're that guy. Don't we need something from him? Wasn't one of our clues something about him?
It just
No,
said that
no,
he
no,
was
what?
a powerful soul who could help.
I think
Oh.
we just need him.
I'll say
Right.
to him, in my experience, usually the son is better and stronger than the father.
And I laugh.
He kind of looks at you and he says, "Oh, are you related?" And he looks at Nain and he says, "I understand.
Hmm.
I understand completely what you're going through." He looks at
Yep.
Gror and he says, "Go easy on the boy."
I usually do, except in Dragon's Tress.
And he looks at Rhiannon and he says, "And you, what's your story? What drew you here, other than a carnival, of course?"
I didn't have a choice. I was brought here.
Well, haven't we all? And he kind of looks away and begins drinking again. Everybody go ahead and make a perception check.
Oh shit! Time to roll some dice.
There's a lot of divine sense. I can't tell they're undead anymore.
I got a 23.
I got
14.
15 less than that. I got an 8.
I got an 11.
Hey,
Ooh, I got pretty good too. What is my perception? 15.
Better than 8, at least.
better than 8.
Anyone above 10
Me.
Nope.
Nice.
notices that the three men sitting on the other side of the bar have sort of slowed down their conversation and begun just kind of eyeing you as you sit and talk to Ismark. Sorry.
Ismark.
Ismark. His name Ismark.
Ismark.
I say, Ismark, do you know those men over there?
He looks over and he says, "Starry spies,
Mm.
no doubt.
Who's spies? What spies?
Vistari spies."
We heard they were tight. We heard they were cool.
What can you tell us about the Vitari?
The only thing I know about the Vistari is that they make my life incredibly difficult. They are the servants of the devil himself. Can't be trusted.
Mm.
Great.
Yeah, well, you see, that's interesting news.
Oh,
Because we were basically just like, yeah, that's not exactly what we heard. We heard they want
looks
Strahd
intrigued.
dead also, basically. Yeah, they told us that they want Strahd to go also.
I don't know if that is a feeling that prevails through all Vistari, as they are granted benefits under Strahd's domain. They are free to come and go as they please.
Do they have any marking or a uniform? How
No,
is it easy to figure out who they are?
I can tell because they carry themselves with a very distinct arrogance, knowing
Well, so
that
do I.
they're not trapped here.
They're not trapped
And at
here.
this
They're
point,
not trapped.
Yeah, they told us they were trapped also, so
at this
that's
point,
fucked.
you all kind of start to notice that the way in which most people that you've seen around Barovia are dressed, and the way that Ismark is dressed, are very different. Ismark's clothes seem a little bit more well kept. There's more color and brightness and life to his clothing, whereas most people are very drab. They're wearing dirty clothes. They look unkempt, not well put together, like they're just going through the motions. Ismark is a step above that. He's got something else going on.
Yeah, he's apparently the son of the devil.
Always.
But
The son
no,
of some
no,
local
he's the
guy.
son. He's the son of the local
He's the son of the
Barringer.
Behringer.
I
Never
still
mind,
don't know what that
disregard.
is.
I was like, wait, what?
Ismark, what can you tell us about your sister?
So, well, the devil has been coming around night after night, except for the last 2 days. He stopped. But he's been coming night after night, seeking her, wanting something. I assume he only wishes to take her away and make her his bride. He's gotten to her twice, and the third time, I fear we won't get her back.
Have you noticed any change in her behavior? Does it seem like she's under his control already?
No. Oh, no.
No.
She wants
So
to
how do
kill
you
him
know?
with all of her might.
So how do you know of his interest in her?
He comes by every night.
Oh, he's not being sneaky about it.
Oh, no, not at all. The devil will try to charm his way into your home. Take
How do you
whatever you
keep
hold
him-
dear.
Come
How do you keep him away? You said he's gotten through twice.
Hmm.
How do you keep him away on the other nights?
He kind of looks at you curiously, says, You don't understand. Well,
Well, no.
I'm trying to.
the
No.
myths say that unless invited into your home, the devil cannot enter.
Oh, motherfuck!
Name looks at Ani.
How about that?
How about that?
Ba-da.
Okay, great.
Um,
So we want to kill this guy. Do you think he's gonna come back around your house and we can like shank him or what?
Well,
he kind of
hey.
looks at you and he goes, You can't shank the devil.
I don't know. I know a few folks who are pretty good at shanking.
Hashtag you can't shank the devil.
Just tweeting it.
Ismark says, I would like help with my sister. I can't trust other people. Most people here are broken and incapable of helping with such matters. This is delicate. I need to move her to the village of... forgot the name.
I've never heard of that.
I haven't either.
what an odd.
Valakai. I need to move her to the village of Valakai near the lake. It's out of the... He can't see her anymore from his castle. Watches her. I know he does. All day, all night.
Like when she's bathing and stuff, do you think?
Probs, man. He seems pretty pervy.
Nice. Say, well, yeah, I guess we're bound to help you then. If the devil himself is interested, we gotta deal with that.
It seems like the easiest way to get close to him.
Get a straight shot, yeah.
He says,
Mhm.
Wonderful. Then come with me tonight. Stay in our home. We'll deal with whatever comes tomorrow.
Heard that.
Great.
He puts up his hand and orders another round. And he says, My new friends. What else can I tell you about Barovia?
Man.
I'm looking to make a few adjustments to my armor. Is there a blacksmith in town?
This is not one I'd trust with anything, but I may be able
Oh,
to help you.
I was going to do the work. I just need
Oh.
access to his kiln.
Well, at my home, I have everything you would need.
Perfect.
Tight.
All right, and so you all sit and begin to drink down your last glasses of ale.
Mm.
I'll give the rest of mine to Nain because I'm good.
I thought they sold wine here.
Yeah, sure, wine, ale, whatever. Just drink. God damn it.
Yeah, does it have alcohol in it?
Yeah, it has all kinds of alcohol in it. Y'all are drunk as hell.
No.
Roll Constitution.
I gave mine to Nain
Roll
before I
Constitution.
got too drunk.
No, roll Constitution.
Yes, I have a 19 on the die.
Natural
Plus
20.
5 is
All right,
24.
you're all right then. All right, you're all right
Gave it to
too.
Nain.
I'm super drunk.
All
I
right,
rolled a 2.
sweet. Gror is
I
getting
rolled a
wasted.
13.
You're all right. You got a buzz going. Bones,
Okay.
what you got?
10.
10. Yeah, you're sitting in the middle too. Yeah, you're good. Gror, drunk as fuck.
He never could hold his own on the wine. He's more of an ale drinker.
Yeah, it was slippery. It tastes so good. It's like juice.
Ridiculous. All right. So, after a while, Ismark says, "All right, my friends, we've drank. Let us go." He starts to lead you out of the inn and down the road. It's not far, and you start to approach what is a very large mansion at the end of the street.
Oh, shit.
As you approach this mansion, you notice that the windows are all boarded up. The weeds, where there would be a nicely manicured lawn, are all trampled down. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of claw marks all the way up and down the outside of this building. It is this moment that it dawns on you when he says Strahd has been coming to visit every night, that it's not him just knocking on the door.
Nice.
I got it now.
He's been fucking it up.
And the house is a mess. Everything is a mess. And as you approach the door, Ismark knocks. And you hear a slide. Go ahead.
Yeah, I burp loudly and say, "This is your house?"
He says, It's seen far better times.
Yeah. I'd probably puke on the stairs.
He looks and he says, that may be an improvement? I'm not sure.
Oh man, I feel a lot better now. Wow. Wow. Had to get that out.
A piece of wood in the middle of the door slides out, and you see two eyes through there, and slides back, and the door opens. And greeting you is a young woman with very dark brown hair, very dark skin. And Ismark says, "Irina, how have things been this evening?" And she says, "Quiet, like they were yesterday and the day before." This is Irina. She appears very mild, but she's wearing some very beautifully ornate plate armor adorned with red trim. And again, like her brother, and unlike everybody else that you have encountered so far in Barovia, she is dressed very nicely, very neatly. There's more color to her attire. She carries a very, very nice looking sword. The hilt is actually a bat. So it's a very thick silver blade with a bat hilt.
Ani is very impressed with all of this.
Thank you.
I got a nice sword too.
Around the house it is adorned very nicely. The furniture is incredibly fancy. Compared to the outside, everything is well kept. But you also note that everything is incredibly well worn. Everything is incredibly well used. These people do not get out of their house very often. The light inside the house is very warm and inviting, unlike everything outside the door. And you notice that the air is pierced by a horrible, horrible stench. Go ahead and make intelligence checks, just general intelligence.
Wow. Yeah.
8.
4.
Another natural 20.
Nice.
I got a
Dang.
Just
23.
blue dice. is
Nice.
Great.
Emily,
18.
18. 3 ladies here. Y'all notice immediately as you enter the house and stand for a moment, you start to suddenly go, oh, you notice the stench of death. The rotting and decay of death hangs in the air.
Yay.
And
Yay.
as Ismark tours you around the house, you immediately realize why. In one of the side drawing rooms is a casket that looks to be assembled out of a bookshelf, maybe? And inside is the Barriger, their father. He has been sitting here rotting for what they tell you is 2 days. Since he died, the attacks on the home have stopped.
Annie's too polite and well-mannered to say anything because she was raised well, so she just like, you have a lovely home.
The
How'd he die?
the simple wooden coffin is surrounded by wilting white flowers. And Irina, answering your question, says, the attacks were too much. They were relentless. Every night. He couldn't take it anymore. They were too much on his heart. He died.
Damn,
And
yo.
she begins just kind of slowly weeping.
It's too soon, basically. Too
You
soon.
can tell this is weighing on her. She actually says she looks at her brother at this point. She says, Ismark, I know you want me to leave, but I can't go anywhere. I can't go anywhere until he is. I can't go anywhere with father like this. And she puts her head in her hand and begins openly weeping. And he looks at you and he says, she's right. We can't leave our father like this.
Well, take him outside and dig a hole, put him in it, put the dirt back over it. Done deal.
Well, doesn't he become undead? Isn't that what somebody told us that? I
Is that
already
what
can't
happens
understand my
if you
notes.
die
It's been
here?
a nightmare.
No, they had explained that if you die here, you don't become undead, but your soul is unable to escape the land of Barovia, in which case it travels around aimlessly for an unknown period of time, and then they believe that it then becomes reincarnated in another body.
So we have to save his soul. It's not his body.
In theory, yes.
Okay.
Yes. He looks at you and he says, well, friends, it's slightly more complicated than that. All of the holy grounds are controlled by the Vistari, and no one will deal with us. No one will deal with him. He looks over at his father and he says, he was hated by the lot. And he looks at you with a sudden moment of realization and he says, Could you help him?
Who?
Help him what?
Could you take him to the church?
I mean, we're physically capable of such a feat, yes.
The priest there, Dovanovich, he will see to my father's burial.
We could
Okay,
take
well,
it.
I'm like drunk, so give me like 20 minutes for a sit down, and then I'm in.
He says, "Oh no.
Maybe we go tomorrow.
This should not happen tonight. Tonight we should rest. We should rest."
Okay, great.
And he leads you upstairs to. He gives you the ability to split between 2 very, very fancy bedrooms.
Nice.
One is across the hall from the other. How are you dividing up?
I'm gonna bunk with the ladies because I don't want to listen to either of those guys snore.
Yeah, me neither.
Nice.
Okay.
Me either. I'm gonna bunk with the ladies too.
Yeah.
So Grower is snoring alone in one of the bedrooms.
Beautiful.
Sounds about
I'll
right.
go in there with them.
All right. So
I want to go before we go to bed. I want to
yeah.
go find Irina.
Yeah. Okay.
Just
She's kind of milling about down in the foyer. She looks on edge. She says, "This is is usually when they attack.
There are more of them?
Hmm?
Your brother made it seem as if there was only one.
Oh, no. No. He brings his minions in the wolves.
Oh.
They all
good.
attack.
Okay. That's actually not what I came here for, but that's good to know. Thank you. No, I just wanted to see if you were okay. I lost my father recently as well, so I understand. Are you all right?
Yes, thank you. I will be fine. I don't understand why me. I don't. I've never understood why. The last 5 years, he's pursued me. Did anything?
What do you know about him?
Nothing more than Ismark has told you, I'm sure. But I do know that he can be charming.
Has he spoken with you?
Oh, of course. I was the one that let him in the first time. He seemed nice enough. We all know that he's the devil, but when the devil comes to your door, sometimes there's a beautiful smile on his.
I understand that as well. What do you talk about when he comes to visit?
Oh. Generally, he talks about love, how he believes that I'm the one for him, that we should be together for eternity, that I am to help him rule over his lands. I don't see it.
Yeah.
What he wants.
I don't believe that you see it either.
She looks at you
I
and she
think there's
says,
good in you.
"Thank you. I'm glad you're here. We don't get many visitors, and rarely when we do, are they around long enough to even speak with." What, if may I ask, what happened to your father?
It's not as exciting. He was killed in battle. Where I grew up, our city is surrounded by mountains, beautiful mountains, but where there are mountains, there are orcs. And where there are orcs, there is death. And unfortunately, my father fell.
These lands haven't been plagued with orcs in centuries. I'm sorry I cannot relate, but very sorry you lost. I understand.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we'll stop that one there for a minute. We'll jump to the guys in the bedroom. You guys are settling down, ready for bed. How are you? You're muted. How are you feeling about the? How are you feeling about the day?
Well, I'm super drunk, so I probably lay down immediately on the bed in my armor, just and start snoring extra loud.
All right.
I'm used to it, but what I'll do is I'll take the little bit of time before we bed down for the night and plan out what I'm going to do to modify my breastplate.
Okay.
Or my, yeah.
All right. And do we want to talk about that right now? What do you want to do to modify your breastplate?
I'm going to modify it by putting large metal spikes on it. Not large, probably only about that long.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna have metal spikes all over you. I just imagine this so Mad Max. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
I really do.
And out of game that comes with part of my Battle Rager that I got at level 3 as a barbarian. There's rules for grappling enemies with these spikes on you.
Snap.
I do take my AC is going to be a little lower, but it's going to be worth it.
Nope.
So.
All right, so you're sketching or writing or something.
No, I'm looking at the breastplate and just going there.
It's a much more crude process.
There. Yeah.
It makes sense.
Perfect. And then, so then we'll jump to the ladies that Ani's still downstairs. You guys are settling in. Anything happening in your bedroom before you settle down for the evening?
Not necessarily. I just like made myself a bed on the floor and just like went to bed.
Ooh, I was thinking that I was gonna make you sleep on the floor, so thanks for that.
That's where she normally sleeps. Like she like set out like a tiny little pillow for Mama, and she like tucked Mama in, and then she went to bed.
It's so horrifying and adorable.
I just kind of like watched this entire shit go down, just like giving her weird ass looks and trying to figure out what she's really about, but not really asking any questions, just watching.
Just watching her
And then I
tuck her
just kinda,
bone doll into bed.
Yeah. And then I was just kind of like, whatever, man. And just kind of like turned around and like cuddled the pillow and went to sleep.
All right, and then a short time later, Ani wanders back in and settles down in
Yeah.
the other bed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wonderful. And nothing really happens overnight. You all get a good long rest.
Oh, yay! Get some shit back.
And as you wake for the next morning, there is not the smell of breakfast like you had when you were with Bella's and Davy.
Yeah.
Or Bella and Eli, I'm sorry. But
Are
instead,
does it still smell like death? Or
it
are we
still
used to
smells
it?
like death.
Yay.
Yeah, there's a
It
dead
is-
dude. in
It's
the house.
not a smell that you notice going away.
Yay. Great. Awesome. Well, I'm gonna head downstairs anyway. I'm gonna head right to the room where the Barriger is. We didn't get his name, did we? We should have gotten his name. That would have been polite. I'm gonna head right
Whose
to the
name?
room where he is. Their dad.
To
The dead
where
dad.
Sorry, I'm slightly distracted. So you head to that room, and so you notice, looking at it, you see that they have everything arranged. The guy's in the coffin. The coffin is super makeshift. It's like they took apart a bookshelf and assembled it very quickly. It may or may not make it all the way to the cemetery. Toss up.
Well, yikes. Looking around, I'm guessing there's not much in this house. If they put him in a fucking bookcase, I'm guessing they don't really have much better to strap him up with, huh?
I mean, it's not that there's nothing better. It's just that they didn't have a casket on hand. And the only thing that they could get without leaving the house, because if you remember, bad things happen when you leave the house, the only thing they could get was the bookshelf.
Gotcha. Well, I'd be like, I got some rope. Can I at least try to like bind the shoddy thing? Because I'm like, if we got to carry this any distance, I really don't want this dead guy dropping on the street and then having to deal with his like fleshy corpse.
Yeah, you could
So
absolutely
if we
bind
can-
the shoddy thing. Absolutely.
If we can take some effort to, yeah, try to put this shit back together, that might be wise.
All right, you can take
Yeah.
like 20, 30 minutes and arrange all this rope and tie it
Bones
down.
helps. She's used to tying together
Weird
know,
contraptions.
bone-shaped
Weird
things.
things with dead people in them.
Bones, go ahead and make a perception check while you're
Yeah.
doing this.
Oh, it's not terrific. That's a 10.
You don't really notice any bones of significance,
Yeah.
but you were
Okay.
looking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, and so you guys get him ready, and Ismark says, I'm going to stay here with my sister, but, and he hands you a thing. Hang on one second, I'm sorry.
Mm.
He
What's
hands
that?
you his father's ring,
Oh.
and he says, the priest will know you're here for me if you give him this, and he hands it
Right.
to you. And it's got like the symbol of the family on it, which is this crest of a snake being cut in half by a sword with a sunburst behind it.
Okay.
Ah! Sorry.
It's pretty rad.
Cool.
Indeed,
Mhm.
indeed it is.
So that's like the family crest.
Yep. And you would have noticed it. I'm sorry, I would have explained it sooner if we would have come up, but you would have noticed it around the house on various objects.
Yeah. No, I'm just writing it down, so I want to make sure I describe it correctly.
Okay.
And so he says the church, just keep heading down the main road. You'll see it on the hill. It's had seen better days.
Seems like most stuff around here has seen better days.
I wish that wasn't
One
true.
last
my
question
friend.
before we go.
Yes.
What was your father's name?
Hmm.
Feels disrespectful to bury a man without knowing his name.
Wouldn't it, though? Let me find it one more time. I'm sorry.
I bet it starts with an I.
His name is not Mark.
Not Mark. not Mark. Not Mark Moringenbach. Koilen.
That's the one.
Koljen
What?
Idronovich.
Oh my God.
Colin?
Cool
Spell
again.
that.
Kolyan Idrovich. Indrovich. Idronovich.
Oh my God.
Indrovich.
Indrovich.
Nailed it.
Drovich.
Team effort. High five.
I mean, fucking the
Well, it was
Czech
really you
Republic.
struggling and then just getting corrected. It
Yeah,
was-
you
it
know,
was a
whatever.
team
Shut
effort.
up.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Anyway, so yes. Kolyan Indrovich. Indrovich. Oh, hi, Beams.
Liz Beams.
James.
You look so happy and interested.
Yeah, I gotta hold him pretty weird to get him in the camera like that. Ugh.
Okay.
All right. So you guys have this thing. You're ready to go to the church. Yeah?
I think so.
Yeah?
Mhm.
Yeah, we got him bound up. We'll see how it goes, I guess. I feel confident in probably Nain and my ability to carry this thing.
Yeah,
I can
but-
help if you need help.
Sorry.
I'm pretty strong too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, if we got
We'll
three
probably-
strong folk on it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
been rotting for a few days. A lot of the fluid is seeped out, and
Oh.
Yeah, but we don't want to carry
He's a
it
little
like
lighter than he
haphazardly.
used to be. But I wouldn't drop him because he might just explode from gas.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Dropping him is gonna be a bad
Ah.
But
time.
it's also
That's
literally
fine.
dead weight. Like
Oh.
no,
Literal dead weight. That's true. It is very
It is.
literally
Yeah,
dead weight. That's
yeah.
that's a
Yeah,
that's a
Well,
fact.
it
as dead
is.
as the weight can get.
Absolute fact. Absolute fact.
Super gross.
So as you
Yeah.
set out from the
I'll
mansion,
help carry as well, just to be safe.
Perfect.
sweet. So as you set out from the mansion, you see against a rise near the roots that stone pillars of supports rising for Castle Ravenloft out of the mountain face. You notice that tucked between them is a small church. It's incredibly obviously weathered. It looks like it has been a battleground for centuries. The outside of the building looks very similar to the mansion. Claw marks. Large chunks of it are missing. It needs a paint job incredibly badly. And lawn maintenance. Someone should really do some freaking lawn maintenance.
There's
No-
an opportunity here. is
Yeah,
what you're
no
saying,
one
to
is
start
doing
a
lawn maintenance in this town.
There's a new
Scrape up a lot of ghost coins.
A
nobody
bell
in the
tower
market for lawn care.
rises out of the back of the church, and some flickering light shines through the shingled holes in the roof where it seems to be escaping from the inside of this church. Because though it is daytime, it is still very strangely dark.
Oh damn! I was just gonna ask that too.
Mm.
It is not like night dark, but it's like an overcast. It's like some of the worst overcast rainy day.
There's
you
no
will have ever
sun.
seen. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
It's like a freaking night.
Yeah.
It's like a freaky night,
Freaky.
not
night.
like a regular night.
Something freaky's happening here. So, as you approach this church, you
Die.
die immediately.
The
Churches are
end.
bad. You should never have gone to church.
Hey, I'm a coward. I disagree.
Yeah, I was like, I'm pretty sure I've been to church.
The heavy
Roy and
wooden
Ani are okay
doors
with
of the
church.
church. The heavy wooden doors of the church are covered in claw marks and scarred by fire.
Mm. Cool.
There is no sign of anyone being around at the moment. And the doors appear shut.
I'll be like, Bones, go get the door.
Why don't we just not?
Well, I think we're carrying a dead corpse in a box.
I
so
say we
it's-
as a group. Somebody go knock. I don't think we
That's-
need to break in.
No, I said Bones, go. That's I meant like go open
go
the door
knock.
for us. Yeah, like it's a church. Like we're not trying to break in. Like just open it because we
I
gotta
thought
get this
you meant
corpse in
like
there.
go pick the lock.
Yeah, no, I go ahead and I hold the door open for you guys.
I mean, do we have to break? Is the door
Can
locked?
we?
I guess.
Yes.
Yeah. Does she have to open it?
And so, sorry, you walk up to the door. No, you can just open it.
Yeah.
Super duper.
All right, so you just open the door. You open the door, and you are immediately greeted by a 10-foot wide, 20-foot long hallway leading to a very brightly lit chapel. The hall that you're in is somewhat unlit and dim and reeks of mildew. There are 4 doors. There are 2 on each side of the hall, leading to some sort of chambers that you can't really see. You can see that the chapel is strewn with debris. Many of the benches are broken and knocked over. And you hear a soft voice reciting prayer.
I'll be like, hey, we got a corpse here.
Suddenly, you hear a scream that feels inhuman
Oh, I didn't mean to
Rings
scare you.
out
I was just trying to
from
let you know.
beneath the wooden floor.
Oh, beneath the floor? What?
The voice uttering the prayer doesn't change and doesn't react to the scream.
He's into it.
You see at the head of the church near the altar is a priest who you can only assume is Donovich.
I'll call out his name. Donovich!
He looks up.
We got a corpse for you.
Looking up at
And
you is a pale old man.
Oh boy.
Dark hair on the top, but graying, going white down onto the sides, sort of like me.
Mm-hmm.
Way to
So
insert yourself
you're
into the
this
game
guy.
there, Trey.
You're okay. So Trey, it looks.
I am
or the guy
Donovich.
looks exactly like Trey.
Yep.
Trainovich.
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 He
Got it.
he begins to look up at you and he says, may I help you, my children?
Yeah, and I'd hand him the signet ring of that old girl gave us, and be like,
He
we
looks
got
at the ring and he says,
we got to do something with this
he
guy.
says, yes. Been expecting. He puts the ring in his pocket. And he says, come with me. You hear as you begin to walk away. From the same area you heard the blood-curdling scream, you hear something go, Father, I'm hungry!
What the fuck?
Oh god. Oh god.
As he leads you back out of the chapel.
Okay.
Oh.
Tight.
All right.
Somebody's impatient.
Yeah. Somebody's freaking out, man.
He leads you outside, and a fence of wrought iron with a rusty gate encloses a plot of land behind a dilapidated church. Tightly packed gravestones shrouded by fog bear the names of no one.
Okay.
But all seems quiet here. This is where you would have seen all of the souls passing out of last night as you watched the parade of specters.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
And so Donovich says, you can bury him whatever plot you like.
Ugh.
He begins
Yep.
to turn to go back to the church.
Do you have a shovel?
Or 4.
Yeah, or like 6, preferably. Great. Want to lend a hand?
He looks at you and he says, I over there. And he points to a small shed behind the church.
Ah, perfect. Not creepy at all. The old graveyard shed. Well, I'll go look for a couple corpse shovels then.
Corpse shovels.
Yeah.
Donovich goes back into the church, and as he enters and opens the door, you hear another blood-curdling scream.
Yeah, there's some weird
Bust
shit going
out
on there.
from that church.
I
Yeah.
don't really like that at
Really
all.
quick before we start digging, I'm gonna cast Detect Evil and Good. It's similar to my Divine Sense, but it's a little different. So I'm gonna skip over the first part because that's not what I'm looking for. What I'm looking for You know if there's a place or object within 30 feet of you that has been magically consecrated or desecrated. Is this still considered holy ground? Has it been desecrated?
Yeah, totally desecrated. What has
Okay,
desecrated?
so-
Can't tell, but everything desecrated as fuck.
Yeah.
So this
I'm
is
going to look at
probably
bones.
not
Literally
considered him.
everything around you desecrated as fuck.
Cool.
I'm going to look at Bones and say, now, Bones, we're here to bury this body, not raid anybody else.
She starts to say something and then just doesn't.
I'll just nod. Okay.
It's understood. Yeah.
Guror, you went to look for shovels.
Yep.
As you open the door to look for shovels, a man kind of comes out of the bushes near the shed and says, "What are you doing there?"
Looking for shovels. Got a few minutes. We're trying to bury a corpse. Could use a hand.
He says, "No. Why would
Well,
I help
then-
you?"
Well, I don't know. Fuck off then.
He kind of eyes you and he says,
Friend.
"Right then, friend."
Yeah, I'm not taking any
Good
stabs
man.
from this stranger. I'm trying to bury a corpse right now.
He keeps walking. He's walking.
He comes up giving me some shit? No, get out of here. Whatever.
All right, he moves on. He moves.
That was nice.
He moves
He
on.
was an asshole. I'm hungover, okay? I got a wine headache. I'm not ready to deal with these strangers.
That wine hangover is the worst.
Oh,
telling you, man.
You gotta stay away from the
Really,
Reds.
it's a
Gotta
bad
stay away from the Reds.
I got no time
No,
for
you-
these random encounters, so I just can't even deal with it right now.
All right. So he walks off. You find 2 shovels and a pickaxe in the
Yeah.
shovel closet.
Better than nothing. Yeah, I'll bring it back.
All right. And so yeah, you guys can just find the plot and dig away.
I'm like, guys, you wouldn't believe this asshole I saw over by the shed. He was just a real dick.
The nerve of some people.
Yeah, I tell you.
I'll say, do you want me to take care of him?
He walked off. Whatever.
Okay.
If he comes back,
whatever.
If he comes back, I'll point him out to you though.
Okay.
All right. Who's digging the holes? You have 2 shovels, 1 pickaxe.
I'll dig. I definitely keep one of the shovels, and I hand the shovel and the pickaxe off to whoever else wants to take them.
I'll grab the shovel and hand the pickaxe to whoever wants it.
I'm gonna pray over this plot. It's not gonna hallow it because that's something totally different. But I'm iffy about
You're
this.
trying.
so I'm
Give
gonna
it a go,
try.
please. Yeah.
It's not gonna do anything. I know it's not because that's a spell that I don't have.
Gotta try anyway though. You just gotta
I'm
try
gonna
anyway. It's cool.
I'm
It's
gonna
cool.
try. I just have a real hinky feeling, and so I'm just gonna sit and kind of pray over it as best I can.
Okay. All right. So you all dig a hole. Those of you digging a hole. Wait, who's helping with the pickaxe? Jumping in here.
I can do it.
Okay.
All right.
I'll do it.
Well,
Bones.
It's all so
Bones is
small.
pickaxing. All right.
Yeah.
Everybody roll. Those of you shoveling or pickaxing, roll a strength check. You have athletics. You can use it.
Nice.
Sweet.
Actually, yes.
I got an
Oh my-
11.
Oh
11?
yeah. Oh
21.
yeah. 26.
Nice.
I dig
You
so
fucked
good.
that hole up.
Yeah. I dig good as hell.
Gror and Nain seem to have this totally under control. Bones
we
is
had to
struggling
bury a lot of
with
people.
what she should do with the pickaxe a little bit. She's like, I don't know how this works. She's not a good miner. Dwarves, natural
tell-
miners.
Can
Yeah,
this stab
exactly.
someone?
I'll tell-
Yeah, no, it totally could stab
Oh,
somebody.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll
that
tell
hurt.
Bones. When
She
you
spends
see,
a lot of time figuring out whether or not it can stab someone.
Yeah.
I'll
You
tell
determined
Bo-
that
I'll
yes,
tell Bones.
you could
I'll
stab
tell
the
Bones
hell
that
out of
you
somebody.
watch out for the big clusters and break those up with it.
Yeah, if we find some big bits, yeah, split them mothers up.
Big bits.
Break
Yep.
up the big bits.
She says
Yeah.
big bits, and she's
Yeah.
like, okay.
Shovel
Honey-
makes the little bits go away. You make the big bits into little bits, so the shovel.
I have
can
my
take them
eyes
away.
closed because I'm praying, and I
Yeah.
just open one and I just try yelling at it.
Ah! And I aim at a big bit. I assume that the big bit goes away.
Oh yeah,
You strike the bit.
I mean, it's a pickaxe. It's meant to break up the big bits. It just totally breaks away the big bits.
So now, for the rest of the time we're digging this hole, Bones is just screaming.
Oh, good. It's good. It complements the prayers nicely. I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Why didn't anyone tell me that this is what I was supposed to do? This makes sense now.
That's how you get strength.
It
You
really
strength
helps.
every time.
So you just have to find out on your own.
Yeah.
That's how the best warriors learn.
Our main name gets his strength from his rage.
That's right.
Mm.
I'm still just a rat in a cage,
Oh,
Despite all his
boy.
rage.
Oh boy.
despite it.
Uh,
Yep.
I think we've gone somewhere.
Yeah,
Uh,
just get out.
so you guys get the hole. You just throwing the body in there, dumping it over, taking the wood back.
Well, I mean, we're not just gonna like overend it into the hole.
Just
That's boop. Yeah.
We'll probably do it a little more.
Lower it
Carefully.
down gracefully.
gracefully,
Right.
respectfully.
I think we
Yeah,
can-
let's have a little bit of respect here. Like, we don't know this guy, but
Right? Did they ask for the box back?
I don't think they did.
I don't
No,
think,
we
yeah,
we just
I'll-
leave the box.
I'm willing to sacrifice my rope for this cause. Yeah.
As you're beginning to lower the body down, you hear more screams from inside the church.
I don't like it.
Cool. Cool.
I
We're
don't like it.
gonna have to fight that, I bet.
Or rescue it.
Yeah. Not exactly
I
sure
think
what's
so.
going on there.
I don't like it.
As far as I'm concerned, if we bury this guy, old boy will help us some more. So getting him in the dirt's the first priority. We'll deal with the screamy church later.
Scream church.
Wow.
Anyway.
Church.
Anyway, so yeah, start digging the dirt back in.
All right, you
Yeah.
start filling the hole back in. This entire process takes you guys maybe 3 or 4 hours.
It's a good hole.
It's a good hole. We'll assume you set out by like, I don't know, 9, 10 o'clock. So you're approaching mid-afternoon.
Still no sun.
Still no sun.
Or creepy dark sun or whatever.
Yep, dark sun.
Freaky sun.
Freaky sun.
So as you begin to make your way back towards the mansion,
Making our way downtown.
making your way downtown, riding fast.
Walking fast.
Yeah,
Faces
whatever.
pass.
Faces
We're
pass.
homebound.
We're homebound, yeah. Well, not yet. You have to kill Strahd first.
Did you guys
Well.
practice that?
Those other guys home.
Yeah,
That's
where
where
were
we're
you?
bound.
Did you get the text?
I didn't. What?
She left you a note, okay? It's like leaving a note, only it gets sent to you by a raven.
Magic.
Yeah, I sent you like a telepathic message. That's a thing I can
Oh.
do.
What?
Oh, what?
As you guys are walking back, the world suddenly grows
Oh.
dark
Oh.
and dark and dark
Oh.
and dark
Mm.
until it's dark as night. And then suddenly on the road in
Hold
front
up,
of
hold
you,
up. Is it like somebody turned off the lights like a switch, or like it's gradually
it's like the light faded to black.
like a storm is rolling in, but it's way creepier.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Creepy as fuck.
Great.
Mm.
Tight.
And slowly in front of you, you see a cloud of bats and ravens swirl, and a man appears in front of you. He says, I wondered when I would get to meet you. My name, I want to make sure I get the complete name right, Stanley.
My own actual complete name.
Let
like
me
to
think on it.
I would like to make sure that I get my exact name correct.
It's been so long since I've met anyone. I don't really remember.
It's been a while, okay? Just
That is partially true.
Oh, good.
My name is Count Strahd von Zarovich. It is
oh,
very,
you're the guy, huh?
very nice to meet you.
Von
Well,
Whatovich?
I'd say the
Count
feelings
Strahd
mutual.
von
but I'd be lying.
Zarovich.
Von Zarovich.
In case you guys are wondering, we just followed him on Twitter.
Nice. Wait, did we?
On what?
Mhm.
That's weird. I didn't know I had a Twitter profile.
Yeah, you told
He did.
He says, I like to meet all the new people to my realms. And who do we have here? He looks at you two dwarves. Sorry, you can't see where I'm looking on my monitor. The two dwarves. He looks at the two dwarves and he says, and who do we have here?
I'm Gror. This is my son, Nain.
I am Nain.
It never fails to kill.
He gets a curious little smile on his face that immediately shrinks as soon as you speak. And he says, isn't that nice? He immediately turns his attention towards the wizard. He says, and you, who are you?
I'm Rhiannon.
And what is special about you, Rhiannon?
Nothing yet.
Well, I could probably help you change that.
Wonderful. Looking forward to it.
He looks to you, Bones, and he says, "Oh, you are thin.
Yes.
How do you
Yes.
get your skin so pale? Mine is achieved by living in darkness."
Yeah, same.
Yep, turns out.
Nailed it.
He says, "Oh, well, then we have something in common, don't we?"
I mean, I guess.
And he looks last at Ani and he says, "You."
Mm.
He gives you kind of a quizzical look. And he says, "Something tells me we wouldn't get along."
I have the gods behind me. I will destroy you.
He
Wow.
starts laughing and he says,
That's bold.
"Oh, the gods. You think they can help you here?
I know they can.
Oh, child. You are in my realms now. Good luck." And he looks at Rhiannon again and he says, well, I'll be seeing you again shortly. And gone.
That's a mysterious motherfucker.
What the fuck just happened?
In place of where he was standing, you see a piece of paper fall right to the
Ah!
ground.
Snag that piece of paper out the air.
Don't touch it.
Looking at the piece of paper,
Yes.
it says, "You have been cordially invited to a
Oh,
dinner
good.
at the residence of Count von Stradovich, or
Dinner.
Count von Zarovich.
Kraut van Krautjabonch.
Your attendance is not optional.
Oh,
Oh shit.
wow.
This is
What if I
dated-
had
the,
stuff going on?
the dinner
Yeah, how
is
do I know what it
the
is?
dinner
Yeah,
is
let's check my
2 nights
decal, man.
from now.
Okay.
Oh, we're stuck here for
Alright.
2 more days.
Cool. Dinner with the devil.
Outstanding.
Sounds hot.
He's smaller than I expected.
Yes.
He was a lot smaller than you expected.
Well, that's not his final form.
Well then.
Okay, well,
Carry on.
we got
Yep.
2 days. What do you guys want to do in the meantime?
So you carry on back to the
Leave.
mansion. Ismark
I
and
suppose,
Ismark and Irina are exactly where you left them. And yeah, what's your next move?
So y'all, we have 2 days to find this sword and the mother.
Are you guys
I
talking
say
about
out of
this? Are
character.
you guys talking about this in
Not
character?
yet. I'm going to say this out of game real quick. We got 2 days to find a
Because you
sword
have
and the
Ismark
mother.
and Irina as resources here, so wanted to make sure
No,
that's
I know.
cool. Okay.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm getting to them. So that's yeah. Okay. I want to talk to Irina because I get her.
I mean, you guys are talking about what are you guys doing? Like you're having a group discussion. This isn't like everybody one on one in individual
so
rooms.
I'm not gonna like pull her aside and say this privately. I'm just gonna address her directly. What do you know about the Sword of the Sun? Do you know anything?
She looks at you and she says, "It's a mythical weapon that supposedly is able to kill vampires."
Great.
Super. We need that.
Is there, I don't know, a garden around here?
You may need to be more specific. There's been many gardens.
A garden with a scarecrow.
Begins thinking. She says, "Sorry, I don't get out much. I really can't help you there, I don't think."
I look at his mark. Do you know of any gardens?
He thinks about it for a moment, and he
I'll take a list. I'll check them all.
thinks
I got
about
2
it
days.
for a moment. And he says something interesting.
Awesome.
Great.
I listened to it.
That's the one. Okay. He says, it begins to kind of dawn on him. He goes, I believe there's scarecrows in the garden outside the Abbey of Saint Markovia.
Saint Sokovia? Isn't that where the Avengers went?
Saint Markovia.
No.
Is that far from here?
He says it's several days,
Ah, damn it.
I think. Yeah.
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 Oh, wait. Never mind. It's 1/4 mile? Hold on. Scale is
Oh,
different
that's
than I
not
expected.
several days. That's
Oh, no.
minutes.
Hold on. That's a unit of measure. Hold on.
You're a unit of measure.
No, it's like a few hours.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, damn it.
Well, we got 2 days. Should
We
we
do have 2 days.
maybe check that out?
We could. I also is Mark Irina.
Do the
lost her.
Macarena?
Irina. Do you have a library in here? I wanna see if I can research this being a bit more. The name rings a bell, and I'm sure I've read his name somewhere before. I just want to learn as much as I can about him.
He says, I'm sorry. I really, really don't. And I don't know that there would be books regarding Strahd.
Yep, okay, so forget that. What about do you know anything of the history of Strahd, who he was before he became this monster?
No,
Do you know anyone who would know?
I can't imagine anyone would still be alive that knew him.
But no one is, a historian. No one has just general knowledge of what he was or who he was before.
He's the devil.
No,
Thank you.
I mean, any knowledge of who Strahd used to be has been lost to time, or is only held with Strahd himself.
Well, I'm out of ideas. Anybody want to go look for a sword?
Let's
I
go
think
look for a sword.
That's like the next spot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, do you know the way to the sword place?
Saint Markovia.
The
Yeah, to
Abbey.
Sokovia.
Ismark says, when are we going to move my sister?
Oh,
Once we kill the devil, we won't have to really
Yeah,
worry
I
about
thought
that.
we couldn't leave until he was dead.
Ismark looks at you. And you're here to kill him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, did we not say that?
Yeah, pretty much. That's the score here, yeah.
Do you believe that possible?
Well, maybe once we get the sword, yeah.
I have the gods on my side.
I've got
And
plot
me.
armor on my side.
He looks
got
at
Moxie.
he looks at Ani and he says, "Your gods are no good here."
I can't agree with that.
He says, well, my Warhammer should still be good here.
He kind of looks at you all for a moment. He says, "I don't know that you understand the gravity of what you want to undertake. Strahd is a being with unlimited power. He may as well be a god. The
Tight.
idea that we go after him and kill him has occurred to me, but until now, I didn't have help.
Now you do.
Well,
What
we
if-
got you, fam.
What if
Yeah.
what if I help you kill
Yeah.
Strahd?
Yeah, that sounds great.
We'll take any help we
Yeah.
can get.
Yeah, you know anybody else who might want to fight the devil?
Ismark glances over at Irina. Says, "You prefer this course of action?" Irina stops and considers it for. She says, "I've told you before. I don't think leaving here get me away from him. So yes, I believe this is the right course of action."
Yes, Irina.
Get it, girl. You do.
I love her.
Cool.
So Ismark, fine. We're all going to die, but fine.
Yeah, that's the attitude.
Let's go kill
That's
the devil.
spirit.
I hold my hand out for him to shake it.
He kind of looks at you strangely and reaches his hand out in front, but he doesn't grab your hand. He just has it out there.
I grab his and shake it.
He immediately pulls it back.
Let's do
So,
this.
So, hey, Ismark, I get the feeling I know the answer to this question, but any chance you've got any combat experience?
He says, yes, I can be helpful in a fight. I've been
Well.
protecting my sister for the last 5 years from
Super
the likes
duper.
of werewolves and vampires.
Great, then you should fit right in.
Hey, real quick before we go, let's not forget that we have 2 short swords that are silvered, and those may come in handy.
Yep, we also
Oh,
have
yeah.
a dagger that's a +1 dagger.
Yeah, I
Yep.
nominate you for the dagger.
Ismark
I'm
kind
also
of,
proficient in short sword, so I'm happy with either.
Ismark
I mean, I'm
is-
proficient in everything.
Ismark kind of looks at you while you all are kind of going through this motion. He says, "We are going to need far more than silvered short swords. What is your
Yeah, that-
plan?"
Well, first we got to go to Sokovia and, fight Ultron or whatever, so we can get the lightsaber of destiny.
That's super close.
I'm not sure, but that sounds about right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the plan. We go to Sokovia.
Okay.
I thought he was in the middle of a sentence.
Nope.
We'll find a sword. We'll take it from there. Do we look like the kind of people who plan? Because if we do, that's our bad.
We in fact plan nothing at all.
He looks at you all and he says,
We have pieces of a plan. 30% of a plan.
"We are going to need far more than this."
Any
What do you
ideas
recommend?
Are welcome.
He says, "What is Strahd's weakness? What will kill him?
I have a thought on that.
By all means, share with the group."
Well, so don't panic or anything. Don't panic. We may have just met him, outside. And he mentioned that he spends all of his time in darkness. Typically, things that like the dark don't like the sun.
Seems appropriate.
Or light.
I mean, that is.
Is that
while
right, Bones?
Okay.
Bones, is that right? Do you not like the sun?
I mean, sometimes it burns
Okay,
if I'm there too long. I don't go out during the day.
that's
And for
better
what
than any
it's
other
worth-
plan right now.
For what it's worth. And what room are we in? Is there
It's like the main room.
it's like the main room. I don't know. Is there a vase?
Yeah,
Like a nice
sitting
box?
on a table and against the wall, probably.
I cast light and I light it up.
He looks over and he says, We're going to need far more than some light.
Oh, that's the least of what I can do.
Well, yes, Strahd is vulnerable to sunlight. He's very powerful. We need more than that.
Like an ancient weapon, a mythical power fabled to be able to kill vampires?
That has sun in its title.
That would be one of the items.
Yep, I think that's the plan. That's goal number 1.
There's also been a rumor that a tome exists, depicting
Oh.
Strahd's history, giving knowledge into how he was created. This may give us insight into how to defeat him.
What do you know? What does the myth say?
That's all I know.
There's
that
a
the
book.
tome exists.
All right.
Some would say that you may have learned about this from a card that tells of history, of knowledge that will help you understand your enemy.
Yeah, I know. Treasure. There's a treasure in a dragon's house.
Dragon.
Hey, are you a dragon? I say to Ismark.
Ismark looks at you and he says, "No, I'm not a dragon.
Like, are you sure though? Because dragons can turn into people if they want.
But we should also find the creator. Where did he come from? Will
Where did
likely
he
help
go?
us. It will likely help us kill him as well."
Is his name Cotton Eye Joe?
Yes, I agree. That's yes. But we don't know where to start with the creator or a tome. We know where to start with the sword. So let's start there. Let's start where we can. We'll take it. We have 2 days.
We may learn more along the way.
And we got to go back and talk to. We told Ismark about our invitation to the Devil's House, right?
We didn't. Let's do that.
Yeah. Hey, look what we found when we talked to the devil himself, and then he gave us this indirectly.
He looks and he says, "This could be helpful."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He says, "There is rumors that the queen buried beneath the palace.
Oh God. The queen,
His mother.
yeah.
She who gave birth to evil."
Yes.
Yeah.
Dank. Is that good or bad for us?
That's one of the.
That's
Find
one of
the
the
mother.
things
She
we
will
need to
help
find.
you defeat him.
Oh,
He
right
says,
on.
"Well,
So good. Yeah, kind of.
who knows what he's done with the body of the late Queen Ravonia, but one can only imagine whatever we learn there will help us defeat Strahd himself."
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're most likely walking into a trap too. Everybody realizes that, right?
Oh yeah. That's why I'm.
Ismark says you
That's why I'm saying we
certainly
have 2
are
days to
walking
put as
into a
much
trap.
together as we
Right.
can.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
imagine it any other way.
That's cool, though.
Strahd
like
has 2 things he will likely do here. He'll either likely recruit you to become a servant, or he will feed on you, kill you.
Okay.
Neither of those are good.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
That's why we gotta fuck him up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Ismark says, "Good.
Good.
Then we will set out immediately. I have friends. We will put these plans into motion."
Red.
Ask your friends about this tome. Find out what you can about the book, about the origins.
I'll see what I can find out.
And we're gonna set out right now.
I don't see why
Well,
not.
we're going to wrap up right now and set out on this adventure next week. Beep, 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 beep.
Classic.
Yeah, classic.
Classic. It's like
Is there
the end of the
any-
episode, right? When something cool's gonna happen.
So next week we will begin the process of destroying Strahd.
We
Mm.
gonna find a fucking sword.
Yeah, go find the sword.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was fun. I had fun with that, guys. Did you guys have fun with that?
Yeah.
We didn't have any
Oh,
combats.
God.
That was probably the first session we've ever done of this game without any combats.
I think that's
So,
true.
like, that's a thing.
I have a lot of information. I took like 4 pages.
Yeah, there was a lot of information to download.
I have, for the first
Yeah.
time, I went onto a second page, but I have tiny.
Yeah, as some meta knowledge, like I said this to all the players earlier, so they all are aware. But I don't want to spend like 3 to 6 months like playing through Curse of Strahd. So we're doing a very accelerated version of this. Everybody levels up to 4, by the way, for all the sweet role playing experiences we had today. Hey.
I don't know what I want to do.
So yeah, that's what we're doing right now, and I hope everybody had a lot of fun with this. We'll be back next week at 4 p.m. doing this exact same game.
Yeah.
We're gonna go find this sweet sword, and we're gonna probably stab somebody with it. We will be
I hope
also
so.
we
Yeah, me
we
too.
also have some new shows that are happening next Saturday. We did it yesterday, and everybody should actually go watch the VOD. It's fantastic. But we did a show called The Solution. We're solving like a murder mystery puzzle that comes monthly in a box, a Hunt a Killer box. It's a lot of fun. Everybody should go watch that. It's not D&D, but I think it's entertaining. Beyond that, we have the Playing With Myself series that's going to continue happening on Saturday nights. And anybody else have anything else they want to throw on here?
Well, shout out to Hunt a Killer. You can check out their different procs at huntakiller.com. That's the box that Trey and Emily are going through on the solution, and it's pretty cool, pretty well set up. So definitely check them out at huntakiller.com.
Yeah.
I've heard
Also
awesome
follow.
things.
Yeah, definitely follow us on Twitter. We're at Attack of Op. That's just 1P, Attack of OP. Also, give us a follow us on Twitch here.
Yeah.
Follow our Twitch channel
Watch us
so
do
that
stuff.
you can watch us every week. You know when we're broadcasting. And if you miss any of our shows, you can find them immediately after we're done on YouTube. And with that, I think we'll be back next week. Right, everybody?
Yep.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, people of the internet.